I'd like to thank you all for taking part in the inaugural AGM Education Series version 2, the second one, made possible by RepSpark, who's a gold level vendor partner and proud sponsor of the AGM. To our members and our vendor partners, several of who are with us today, thanks for joining us. You are among the best in the industry. RepSpark is one of those vendor partners, and I'd like to introduce Megan, who's the co-founder and president of RepSpark. She's been involved in action sports fashion brands from the time she was a child, with helping the pattern makers to make patterns to restocking a warehouse. The apparel, footwear, and accessories industry has always been close to her heart, especially within the realm of sales operations. With the mentality of there has to be a better way, Megan co-founded RepSpark as a platform to allow sales teams to grow and sell more intelligently. The pulse on product and service to customers, RepSpark has grown exponentially, especially with servicing the needs of the golf industry. RepSpark is not only an AGM vendor partner, but also partner of the PGA. So Megan, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. That was a great introduction. I feel like we might need to cut it down a little bit. But anyways, thank you all so much for joining again today. We had a very great presentation last time, and thank you to all of you who took the time to respond, just to let us know what you wanted to hear more about and what we wanted to focus on for this presentation today. And it's doing the same thing it did last time, so we'll just do it like this again. Anyways, today we're going to concentrate on a couple different things. One was all things orders. There were some questions asked in the last presentation about what to do if you're ordering where there is current inventory and inventory that might not be available for that date, how to best work with those kind of orders, as well as some other order items, how to add embroidery and customization as you're going along your order. So we're going to go through all things orders. Next, we're going to work through that merchandise board. So there was a lot of questions following the last presentation on how to use that board, how to access the board, how to add products and manipulate those. So we're going to walk through that. Then we're going to walk through at a very high level what we're doing with events and pop-up microsites. So as you work with your brands entering into the holiday season, where there may be opportunities to present pop-up shops, trunk shows, things like that to your members, how you can be working with these brands and they can be facilitating that for your pro shop. Then we're going to end with the community, which we are launching tomorrow night. We've spoken a bit about that, but I'll be able to show you how to use that as well. And that's kind of our agenda for today. I'll try to move through it pretty quickly, and we can leave time for questions at the end. So again, we're going to start with all things orders. I'm actually going to do these in the opposite order. So we're going to go through adding logos and embroidery first. Next, how to split out an order that has inventory available today as well as in the future. And then there were some questions that were surrounding how to access order status, invoices, invoice status, and tracking. So we touched on that for a second last time, but we'll be able to walk more into that today. So I am going to go ahead and pull my screen over. And just to put this in perspective for everybody, this is my demo site. I have already at this point gone through the shopping experience. I've already entered my header. I've added products to my cart. So from here, we're going to focus on how to add an emblem and embroidery and how to quickly fulfill an embroidery order. So as you can see, any product that can have some sort of embellishment or logo customization will have this little add emblem sign here on the left. From there, you can click into add the emblem, and what you should see is any emblem associated with your club. You should be able to choose from those emblems. Some of our brands will allow something like a new logo. So you'll see a little area there to add a new logo. And that would be telling your sales team or the customer service team at that brand that you have a new logo on file that you want to be adding. If not, you would go ahead and select that emblem. Next, you would select the placement. Some of our brands limit the placement by product category, etc. Some of them just hope that you wouldn't necessarily choose a left sleeve logo on a vest. So again, always you're able to see exactly the emblem placement underneath the nice little image here. Then you're going to choose your emblem color. These are all manufacturer specific. So some brands may have different color options than others. Some may have 2 options. We have some brands that have like 16 options. So again, choose as closely to your finish type that you would like. Now, this could be for an order that you are placing for your club specifically, a big stock order. This could also be a special order for a specific member. So however you're working through that stock order and special order, it's kind of the same workflow here. And then if the brand that you're working with does different upcharges or minimums, etc., with the finish type, you would choose that. Again, I would only think about 50% of our manufacturers actually have that piece. And then you could add notes. So this is where you would say, I really want navy or something like that. All of our brands are able to customize this process. So working with some, you may have the capability to add notes, you may not. Some of them have a finish type, some of them don't. But again, they all have included everything that they're hoping to receive with that order to more quickly be able to process your order and get that out to you. If they do allow you to upload art files, you can click browse and upload that art file, your art file from your desktop. Now, if you only have a DST file, that's completely fine to enter with this order as well. I know the brands are just looking to get those files, even if it's kind of a sketch of what you're thinking about. But one of the hardest things for the brands is to track down exactly what file we want on this. So again, we put that there to try to make that easier for you as a very busy pro and the brand to be able to collaborate on this order. Now, if you want to add multiple orders, you can click add and create new, and that'll allow you to put a second logo on the product. Maybe you want something on the back yoke and something on the left chest, something like that. So you can do that, or you can go ahead and click add and close. And what you're going to find here is it's going to go ahead and add everything that you just added. So you have the visibility into what you've done to customize this order. So you see the emblem name, any notes, the placement, color options, etc. So if you get to here and you realize that you did something wrong, you can always just remove the emblem and start over again. So that would let you kind of fix something and remove it. If you have multiple emblems, they'll just kind of stack up. And then for each of the brands, as you put in your quantity here, you can see I have 10. This logo cost is $3. So I can see on the logo total, I now have $1,050 of logo cost, or of total wholesale cost. Sorry, emblem cost is $30. So it makes it really easy for you to see exactly what the logo upcharge is for each of the products on the order. Now, sometimes pro shops have negotiated special rates on those emblems. Sometimes it has to do with a minimum. So you have to have an order of 10 minimums or 10 units or more to get that discount, et cetera. So all of those should be plugged into the system exactly for each of the brands that you may have special deals associated with. From there, you can go ahead and repeat the same process and add the emblem, or I could click into this little copy, and then I could copy to all of my lines. So if I want the exact same left chest, same emblem for all of my different, maybe I'm doing all these zip pullovers. I just want a couple different colors and a couple different styles. I could add to all, same product class. So that will add it to all the same product class, or I could just select the lines that I want to copy this emblem to. So I'm going to go ahead and click all, and now it's going to copy to all of my lines. Now, if I did have something like a pair of shorts or something like that that didn't have a left chest, you would get an error that says that logo is not allowed in that placement if the brand has set it up to give you that validation error. So that's how you can go ahead and quickly add your emblems. Just so y'all know, these do go back on the order to each of these manufacturers. So they're able to easily process your order, and it should really help to streamline the back and forth that you have with each of the manufacturers. They start to either do kind of those one-off special orders or stock orders where you're putting your logo on the product. So that covers logoing. I'm going to move next, Tracy. Unless there are other questions around logoing, you're monitoring that. I could either stop now or we can go to the end.
Yep, you're good. Keep going.
Okay, great. So now we're going to talk through what should I do if I place an order where some of my product is not available till a certain date. So as you can see with this first line, I have an ATS of 0 and I want 10, but 10's not really available till 10/22. So now I've got myself in a situation where part of my units, like this one, I can actually order away now. So I could order all of these units, but these first two are not available. There's not ATS. So how can I go ahead and manage this without having to go back, take these 2 items off the order, go back, start another order for the other 2 items that I want? So you can go ahead, fill in your order. So exactly like I'm doing, I'm going to use my size scale here, like we showed on the last one. So if I wanted 20 units in that size scale, I can go ahead and show that. I'm going to take that out just so we can more easily see the order splitting. Again, I'll go ahead and put 5 units here. So once you have done something like this, where you have 2 lines that don't have the product available, when you click proceed to review, it will pop up a notification that there is an error and that you need to fix it. On my demo, I have that turned off, so I'm going to show you it in the cart. But when you click proceed to review, you'll now see a pop-up that looks like this. So you'll be able to see exactly what the problem is. So you can read right here that there's no units, has 0 of the 10 units available. And it's also going to tell you when those units will be available. So again, this will automatically pop up for you. So you have a couple options here. The first one is you could move your entire order to ship complete on 10/22. So the good thing about that is, if we're pretty close to 10/22 right now, if you think, oh, I could wait a week to get that order, that's not that big of a deal. If you click this one, it'll move all the products to a 10/22 start date. So again, since we're so close, maybe that's what you want to do. However, if part of these units weren't available till 10 or 12/22 or something like that, there may be something different you want to do. So if you click into this little size area or this little line area, it's actually going to show you how it splits out. So this would be splitting it by line, and it's going to tell you on 10/12, I'm going to have all these products available. So splitting by line is going to take your entire size scale. So perhaps if I had this striped shirt here, it's one size, but let's say there were 2 sizes and part of it was available, it would actually split it out by sizes and show you, this one's going to look the same, but show you the different sizes that would be available on the different start dates. This one is doing it by line. So it's telling me today, which is my immediate, I'm going to have these products, and then it's going to create automatically a second order for a 10/22 start date. So if I think this looks okay, I can go ahead and continue to check out. If I want to make a change or a modification, let's say it's splitting it out and putting 3 random pairs of socks on a different order, I could then go in and change my units in the cart. So I could go back and do that. But what I'm going to do to modify this, so now it's automatically split my order out, is I can click continue to checkout. And now it's telling me it's going to split my order. It may take a few minutes. So it's actually running all that validation. So if you have an order that maybe has, 50 lines of products, that might take a few seconds to split, but you'll know that it's doing it. Then it's going to tell you it's been split into 2 different orders. So at this point, if you want to make a change, you could click into the order. But the nice thing is it has these 2 orders stacked right on top of each other. So if you can see, this is my first order with an entry and a start date of 10/12. So it's a 10/12 date, and it has those products on it. Then I have my second order that has a 10/22 start date, and I can go ahead and see that it has these two products on it. So then I can very easily check out my order. Again, if someone's set up with terms or credit card, it will ask you that, and you can go ahead and process those orders. So it's a really great way to go ahead. It'll process that first order. Some brands have had it where it processes both orders, and then some brands have it set up where it automatically splits, but then you would go in and see what's going on with that second order and modify it if you want to. The way that you can tell how a brand is set it up is if it has the multiple order numbers, then you know it submitted all of them together. If it only has one, then it'll let you know which one it has submitted. And then if you go to the My Orders section, the other one would be in a draft, and you can either go ahead and submit it like this one directly from here by just clicking submit. Or like I said, most of our brands have it set up where you could set submitted and it'll submit both orders with the different start dates that it's automatically set up for you. So that is how you can quickly move through an order that might have multiple start dates on it. The next thing that was a big question with the order status invoices was, how do I go ahead and find my order tracking and my order status? So again, along the top here, you're going to see order status and invoices. Upon clicking in, the first thing you'll see is all of your open orders. Since that's what most people are interested in, that's the first thing you're going to see. If you see something that says there are no orders that meet this status, that means that you don't have any open orders. And you could click right into this order history and see all of your details of your ordering with this specific brand that you're working with. So now I can see all of my order history. I can see what amounts booked. If something got canceled, I'll be able to see that as well as my shipped amount. You can also always use these lookups on the side. If you know your order number or PO or RepSpark order number, then it's really easy to kind of put that in and search for that order. From there, you can also always click into the invoices section. And here within the invoices section, you're now able to see all of the invoices associated with a specific order. Also, if we do have the information back from the brand, you should also be able to see your tracking number, and also your freight amount. If there is an upcharge for a drop ship or a minimum order, etc., you'd be able to see that here. So you can always click directly into that invoice to get those details. You could also see the freight amount, if there's a drop ship charge, the invoice amount, etc., and click right into the tracking. You can also see exactly what's on that order with the applicable sizes. So again, that's here in this order status invoices section where you have your open orders, your order history, and all of your invoices as well. So that was a quick run through of our all things orders. The next things that there seemed to be a lot of interest in was the merchandise board. So I'm going to go ahead and hop in, and we are going to walk through the merchandise board. From here, I'm going to click into a catalog over here on my other screen, and then I'll bring it back over and we can start to walk through how to use that merchandise board, where to access it, etc. So I am going to go ahead and click in here to an older catalog for one of our very favorite brands. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring that back over here. So I am in a current Johnny O catalog, and this is the best way to use the merch board. So here within one of the catalogs, you know what, and before I do that, I'm going to hop back into all just so you can see where to access these catalogs. So the catalogs can always be accessed here in the catalogs assortments area. Any catalog that has been set to be visible by a buyer will be here in this area as well. So you can always click in to see the new catalogs. Again, different brands let different people access different catalogs and assortments, but anything that would be shared with you would be here under the catalogs assortments in this shared area. And if you drop this one down, there may be different assortments that have been put together and shared with you specifically, or all buyers, all pro shops. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and click into my men's catalog. And then you're going to set up your multi-date board. So when I go in to click into my catalog here, I'm going to see, instead of clicking the star, I'm going to click this little bag. And when I click this little bag, it's going to tell me to set it up. Now I can set this up as a single order. So if I'm working with at once and I don't want to use that product screen, I could set up a single order here, or I could go ahead and set up a multi-date order. And this is a great way to look at your buy across your certain months. So we'll go ahead and say this is going to be our merch board. From there, you can go ahead and select your dates for the board. And this would be your different dates that you want to see your merchandise collection for. You go ahead and you click Start Bag, and I will show you how to do this with a single order as well. But now again, as I'm shopping or going through my shopping experience here, I can click on the bag and add these products to a specific date. I can add them to all three, etc. I could also drill in, so I could click into any one of these products, and I could also add to my cart here with exact units. So for example, I could use units here and add it to my cart, and it's going to ask me what dates I want to add that to. So it's a very quick way to walk through and add your products to these different dates. And then you're going to get the opportunity at the end to see what all of those products look like. So again, I'm going to add a couple more. And once I think I have a good assortment, I'm going to add the navy on 12/15. I'm going to add this teal color, etc. You can click into my bag, and it's going to show me exactly what I've ordered here in the multi-date cart. So this works, the multi-date part works best if you're actually shopping a catalog. So that's how I would recommend to do that. You can also look at one of these boards with a single order. So I'll show you how to do that next, but now it's going to break out your shopping experience into each of the different dates. Now, underneath each of these products, you're going to have the style name, the style number, the color, and when it's available on. If you've added units, you're going to see the units and the price here. So I'm going to open up this board so we can look at this a little bit bigger. So again, you have over here, you can have a little play tool to make the item smaller or larger, depending on what you want to see here. And now I can also start ordering. So over here are going to be all the products in the catalog that I was working with. So I can look at any time. Let's just say I wanted to make sure to add the color. Now I'm going to see all the colors. So you can use this search for specific styles as well. And then you're going to see what might not be available. So these are either sold out or they're not going to be available anymore. And these will tell you when certain products are available on. Now, if you want to start to add these, you click on this little checkbox. So as you can see, this little checkbox, you can click on that. And then up here, you have the add. So I can decide to add to just my first order date, or I could decide to add those to my October date as well as my April date. And as I add those products, you'll see that this board will get filled up with the products. Now, if I wanted to add products that were not in that specific catalog, I could do that as well by looking at a different catalog here, or potentially a list that I've made as my favorites list. So you can kind of go from different catalogs to order those products within this board. So again, if I wanted to add the Burns and the Rob, if I'm looking here and looking at my assortment, I can go ahead, again, I click into the little checkbox, I click into the add, and then I could add it to a specific first date or second date. And now I can start to look at my visual product assortment. And perhaps I'm looking and I'm thinking, gosh, these two look a little bit too much alike. I probably don't need both of those. I can go ahead and delete that out. Again, I can always kind of scroll down over here. Maybe I decide that, I need some vests, or maybe I want to make sure that I have some pants. So I'm always able to see. And then I can also see if something's not available, I can go ahead and delete that out as well. Now, once I'm in this visual assortment tool, I always have the capability to see more information on the product by clicking on this little eye. And that will now let me start adding units. So I could kind of build my cart in this mode as well, not just see it. And it will also show me availability, ATS, product descriptions, multiple alternate colorways, if you have that across here, as well as alternate views of the product. So you would be able to see that from here as well. And then as you start to add units and styles up here with styles, units, etc., you'd be able to keep track of that. Now, if you want to really focus on the product mix, you think this looks good, I'm going to add a couple more pants over here just so we can kind of play with this a little bit more. But once you've gotten to, adding a couple different products here, if you click on this tag, it will actually start hiding some of this other detail. So let's say we feel really good about this. We don't really care about any of this availability or anything like that. We're really trying to use this as a merch board. You can start to hide all of those different aspects and really start looking at your product and playing with your product. Again, if you think your product mix looks great and you're ready to start ordering, you just click on this little eye and start populating your cart. You can drag and drop. So you can drag and drop and see what products might look like. Maybe you want to put tops with bottoms or put your color story together to see if you're missing any colorways. And if you are, again, you can always start adding over from this left-hand side. So that's how you can quickly populate and use this merch board. And then if I close the merch board, I have all my other dates here as well. And I can kind of manipulate the different sizes. So I could see across multiple dates, all of my different styling guides and buys. And once I'm ready to go, I can go in, open my cart, add my embroidery, see any discounts, etc., and work through my ordering process. So that is the merchandise board. Another way that you can use this, so if you are on a single order, so let's say, I am going to go back to my demo really quickly here. So if I am here within my orders and I want to go back to a board, so let's say I've already placed that order, it's arriving in my shop and I just want to see how to visually merchandise it in my store, or maybe pull up or print out a merchandise board from one brand or another brand. You can always access the board here as well. So within any order, you can always go into this merch view, whether that's orders in draft status. So, hey, I put together a suggested order. I wasn't working with the catalog. I'm in my order cart. I just want to see what this looks like. This only has 3 products. That's not very helpful. But now I can also see what an order might look like directly from the My Orders section. So it's not going to have all the different, boards, because I was just making this from a single order. But I could see what my order might look like visually as I'm putting it together. So again, here in My Orders, within this little down action item, you're always able to look at your merch board and look at your orders here. And that is our merch board. The next thing that we have on our docket is the events and pop-up microsites. So as we're moving into a season of events, probably at your club, RepSpark does have the capability, working with our brands, to provide pop-up shops, events. We're seeing a lot of brands working with their pro shops to do these kind of holiday special, let's give special thanks at Thanksgiving event. And it's a really great way for you to provide special product to your members that you may not carry in shop. Perhaps you carry a lot of men's clothes, but maybe you want to add some women's clothes as we get close to Christmas in the form of a pop-up shop. So essentially what you can work with your brands to do is your brands would go ahead, they would build you a custom shop. This one's more like an event, but you could also do more of like a pop-up shop, a holiday gift grab, something like that. And you could put together packages along with the brand to set up different packages or collections. Again, it could be a single package, everything that you're going to be offering. I've seen this done a lot at the club that I belong to, where they will put together something as, especially for the kids' clothes, that they may not stock a lot of them, but as a kids event goes forward or juniors program is doing something, they'll put together a pop-up shop, and then the members can go ahead, they can see all the information about the product. You can decide in tandem with the brand if you want to show wholesale, retail price, et cetera, probably mostly retail. They could go ahead and enter their quantity. You can work with the brand to limit quantities, to limit how many things a member can order, all that sort of thing. You can decide if you want things to be automatically logoed or not logoed, or if you want that member to be able to decide if they want to have something logoed. And then they can enter their first name. You can decide along with, again, the brand that you're working with to put this together, if you want to add a drop ship or not. A lot of times we see pro shops don't want to add that because you want your member to come in and pick up their awesome clothes that they ordered and potentially be looking at other product in the store as they come to pick up their items. So again, this is a great way to put together gift packages and pop-up shops as we near the holidays. Again, I am going through this very quickly to try to make time here, but if anybody wants more information, please let me know. And the last thing that we're going to be covering today is the community. So as we've said, this is really a great way for you as a buyer to connect either with new brands that you've never purchased from before, as well as brands that you are currently purchasing from. There's a way for you to search and filter out. Let's say that you're working with a company that does hats or water bottles, and you're unhappy with them, or you want to see what other brands and companies there are out there. You can go ahead and search and filter. You can search by vertical, you can search by product category, subcategory, and gender. And all the brands that have marked themselves to be tagged as such would show up in that search. At the same time, you can do a multi-request. So instead of having, let's say you, since I was using Johnny O, you have Johnny O and Peter Millar and some of the newer brands that we have, like Sunday Swagger and Renwick, and you want to request access to all of them. You can do it at the same place at the same time. Now, what will happen when you do that access request is the brand will get a notification immediately that you've requested access. They go ahead, they accept your access request, they set you up with your profile. You'll get an email back that you've been approved. You can go back to the brands area and log right in. And it's really great. It's going to give you the opportunity, again, to search for new brands if that's what you're trying to do, or at least access all of your current brands in one place. So this will be at app.repspark.com. And I'm going to pop in and give you a sneak peek for this. So this is what it looks like. Again, this goes live tomorrow night. Right now, you just have access to all the brands you currently have access with. But as of tomorrow night, you'll be able to see something like this. The top where it says access now would be all the brands that you currently have access to. So again, that's the experience that you have right now. And ready to discover new brands. So most of you will see that right up here. You're going to be able to start searching for brands. So perhaps I want to search for all of my golf brands. As I type that in, I'm going to be able to see brands that have listed themselves as golf, or I could go into, and this search is going to look a tiny bit different, but I could look into golf bags, hard goods, accessories, women's apparel, women's gloves, etc. And any brand that has marked themselves as such will be able to appear here. Now, if I don't have access to those brands, like Stitch Golf or Straight Down or Golf Teeny here, I can go ahead and click add, and it'll start adding my new brands over here on the left hand or the right hand side. So any ones that I would love to have access to, either that I'm not currently buying from, but potentially I want to start looking at their catalog, or that I'm buying from, I just maybe didn't know that they were on RepSpark, and this will make it much easier to buy. I can go ahead and click into this new brands. I can click request access. Here it's going to give you the opportunity as a buyer to potentially fill in more information, because we're going to start doing some recommendations where if you have golf accessories and a new brand shows up that has golf accessories, there may be a recommendation engine. Again, you always have the power to select and request access. We will never be, requesting access for you or anything like that. Again, you're always going to have that ultimate power. But you'd be able to see, okay, I wanted to add all of these different brands. These are my selected ones to have request access to. Then I go ahead and click submit. And what it's going to do is it's now going to submit access requested to these couple brands. Now, once those brands, now I'm going to see this access pending. So again, the kind of the different things here, you're going to see the access now. Those are brands that you already have access to. Then you're going to see this add. That means that you don't have access to them at all. And then these ones that say access pending are now going to be the brands that you've requested access for, but have not yet said, go ahead and access our site. So that's how you can go ahead and work with the brands to access their site. And the great thing is, once you're within a brand, so let's go ahead and click into this one. Up here, you see this little guy. This is now where you can change to the different areas of the different brands. So these three will always be the last three that you accessed most frequently, or you can always click see all my brands. And that's going to take you back here to the brands page where you can, again, be searching for someone specific. So let's say I am wanting to order from Rain. I can go ahead, search for that specific brand, or be a little bit more vague, maybe looking by product category, by gender, subcategory, etc. So again, a great way for you to be able to access all of your brands in one place and swap back and forth very easily as you're working through restocking and refinishing. The one other thing I did want to show you that I forgot about is I'm going to go back into, I can go into this one, that's fine. The other thing that was asked about was copying an order. So the really easy way to do that, so if you know you're wanting to place an at-once order for, or a restocking order or something like that, you know, your product is just blowing off the shelves and you want to place an order for an order, again, a copy of an order that you placed before, you can always go in, again, this little downward arrow is going to be your friend. You can always go in there and click copy. Whether that order has already been sent, submitted, valid, draft status, etc. You can go in and copy that order. It'll make an exact copy of it. And it'll say copy right there. And then you can go ahead and click into the cart, make modifications. You know, maybe within that order, you wanted most of it, but you know, you don't want these hats anymore. So you can delete that product off the order and put your sizes in, etc. So it's a really easy way for you to also copy an order, since part of our focus here was on all things orders. So that was, I think, what we were going to focus on today. All things orders, we focused on the community. Again, look for that tomorrow as it will be rolling out. Events and pop-up shops and, you know, some unique ideas that you might be working with the brands with. And then all things order as well, and how to use that merchandise board, whether you're doing a multi-delivery order to see your seasonal buy, or whether you're ordering one by one. And that's a great way to see all of those products together. So again, I'm going to stop for Q&A. I think you know a lot about RepSpark. We are a personalized B2B e-commerce platform. We focus a lot in golf. And if you want to look at all the brands and everything, you can always click on this link that will be included in the PowerPoint. And then, of course, thanks to AGM, the Association of Golf Merchandisers, who you know, is working diligently to make sure that you as buyers have all the information that you may be needing as well. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Q&A and we can go from there.
Okay, we've got one. Lauren said she's super excited for the community feature. Looking forward to getting on that when it drops tomorrow. Thanks, Megan, for your time.
Oh, great. Thank you as always.
I had a question when we were on those merchandise boards, and that a lot of us at shows will actually mark orders in catalogs and then give the catalogs to a rep. Would that be what they see as that same page, that they can now very easily take that catalog and just create the order right from our catalog to the merch board?
Yeah, exactly. So if it's being done digitally, which we're hoping and we're trying to work with PGA to do that, the PGA team to do that for sustainability reasons and modernization at the show. But you'd be able to mark that catalog up digitally as someone's walking through it at the booth. And then both of you would have access to those boards and those orders and lists as well to place that order. Now, if you kind of go the old school way still and are circulating a catalog and give that to the rep can most certainly walk through and build a merchandise board to work through with you as well.
I see another question in the chat. Is RepSpark available as an app for iPad?
Oh, great question. Yes, so there is an iPad app you can download, a phone app. It's available for both iOS and Android, and you can just grab that either off our website, repspark.com. There's a couple of places where you can click right in and it'll take you to the App Store, or search the App Store for RepSpark and it will be available for you as well there. And it makes it really easy for ordering, at stores. You're walking around and adding products. You can actually go all the way to add the embroidery and customization on the app.
Any other questions anyone has? All right, then. Look at that. We got done early today. Thank you, everyone, for joining. If you do have questions, just send them our way or, to Megan, or you've got the information for RepSpark and they will get back to you very quickly and help you out with whatever. And we look forward to our next session with them.
Thanks,
So
everybody.
thank you, Megan, Susan, for your work on this.
Thank you as well. We look forward to the next one.